Good afternoon, everybody rolling in here. This is the latest in Mortgage Today. We're going to give people 30 seconds or so to pop in here and join us. As you're popping in here, tell us whether you're in fall mode or not at your house. What's the weather like? Shoot us notes in the chat. Where are you coming from? And are you like me that we have very colored trees at this point? And the other morning it was 43 degrees outside. Oh no, storms. We don't like that. Um, 80 in St. Louis. Wow, perfect weather. Perfect weather. Fall and wonderful in the Northeast. Yeah, that's kind of what we've got here. If I look out my window, I see yellow, orange, red, and green in the trees, but I don't like the 43 degrees in the morning at all. How about you, Natalie? What you got there today?
I haven't been outside yet, but I think it's like mid 80s and sunny, which is perfect for me. Anything below 80, I start to get chilly.
Yeah,
So I'm happy with the warm weather, but it's a nice day.
yeah. Upper 80s in Dallas, where you are, and
Yeah,
sunny
okay.
today. So thanks for joining us, Christy. Thanks for popping that in the chat. I think we're going to go ahead. It looks like, we've got a lot of people in here. Doing what you just did in the chat is what we want you to do the whole entire show. So make sure and share your comments with us about the topics that we're talking about. In each episode of the latest in mortgage today, a TMC lender member joins us to help unpack what's new in mortgage, what's working, what's shifting, and what it means for all of us. The show is a space to listen, exchange, and move forward together. Our goal is to build a space where people can show up, speak out, and make meaningful contributions to our network and the industry at large. So make sure you get this on your calendar. It's twice a month at this time on Fridays and invite all of your team. And then the last thing is please chat with us today and give us your opinions on what's going on and what's happening in your world. So with that, we'll get rolling. We have the greatest person joining us today, Natalie Alexander, who is the president and CFO of Willow Bend Mortgage. Welcome, Natalie.
Thank you for having me today. I'm excited to join this with you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, in introing her, I should say, so Natalie's had a busy couple of weeks here. So she's the president and CFO. She just got promoted to president. So congratulations to you. She also
Thank
just
you.
had a birthday. So everybody wish her a happy birthday. And now she's going off on a trip. So she's had a little bit of a tumultuous last couple of weeks, all in a very, very, very good way, right?
Yeah, celebrating everything all at once helps. So, yeah, knocking it all out this week and then getting ready for the annual and another back-to-back thing after it. So, yeah, busy October. I feel like once October 1st hits, the rest of the year just like flies by.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. I heard somebody was saying yesterday how many days it was until Christmas. And it's
don't
like,
say
oh
it.
I just don't want to hear it. I don't even remember what it was because I kind of just blocked it out and said, I'll deal with that at the end of next week. I'll start thinking about some of that stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me because no matter how many days there are, I don't even do my Christmas shopping until the week of Christmas. I don't know what it is. My mind just can't get there until the week of. So
That's funny because I'm not, I mean, I'm a planner for some things, but you're probably much more of a planner than I am. I'm kind of the same, but I also have older kids. And so I don't really have to do as much as what other people would have to do. But it's stressful for me. I don't necessarily love, I love to shop, just not that and the chaos of all of that. Yeah.
yeah.
So tell us so that everybody in the audience understands kind of like what your viewpoint is. Share with us a little bit about Willow Bend Mortgage and what you guys are doing over there.
Yeah, Willowbend Mortgage, we've been in business for over 30 years. We're independently owned. Our owner is also owner of probably a dozen or more affiliated companies. So he has a title company, an insurance company, a surveying company, like everything that kind of touches
Sure.
um, that he's not going to leave any money on the table. So we've kind of been involved in all things in the real estate like wheelhouse.
Oh,
But I've primarily been involved in Willow Bend Mortgage.
Yeah.
Touched on some of the other companies over the years, but Will Ben Mortgage has kind of been my main thing. We're 100% retail shop. We have most of our production in Texas, but we're licensed in over a dozen states, and so we have a pretty good footprint in Texas, but can do business in other places. Yeah, it's just like a really great company. It's, family owned and operated, and we have a great group of people. And yeah, it's been great. I've been there for 14 years, which
Wow.
is, I know, it's archaic. I did work other places before, but the joke is you fall into mortgage, like you never get in on purpose, and then you like never get out. So yeah, I've been CFO here for most of the time, and then, like you said, recently added the president hat. So
Yeah.
it's been fun.
I was so excited to see that happen because I feel like you'd been operating in that role for a while, just so you know.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to see that finally announced. I think that is just absolutely fabulous.
Thank you.
Um,
Appreciate that.
Yeah, so we are going to talk a little bit about Texas today, because just this past week, there was an article that I was reading that the headline was Texas dominates the list of America's fastest growing
Oh
companies.
yeah, biggest and baddest. Let's go.
Go big, right? It is Texas. But what came out of this, I guess, information out of this article was the dominance in urban growth isn't just about population growth. It's about like shifting economy, economic, housing, and community dynamics. So as we all know, like a lot of people are moving to where they want to be. They're not staying necessarily where they've traditionally been because they have maybe the ability to work remote or I think the environment as the younger population grows, the attitude about where you live and the things that you do and everything is different than how it was before. So I probably will botch a couple of these names, but Selena, Forney, Princeton are growing at like triple digit rates, which I think is crazy. It appears to
Yeah,
be,
and those places used to be like empty land. To me, it's like foreign territory. It's a road trip. It's really not that far away, right? Like it's just 30 more minutes north. But you're right. It was nothing all these years ago, and now they're just like exploding, and they can't keep up with the schools and the infrastructure and all the things that come with it. But yeah, those are just right outside of like north of Plano, Frisco. Yeah.
yeah. So affordability, new housing developments, obviously, the proximity to the Dallas metropolitan area would be
Mhm.
attractive. The other thing that happened is multifamily. Texas leads in apartment construction with 8 of the top 10 submarkets for new inventory. So I thought that was interesting too, as people
Mhm.
are trying to find affordable places to live and housing. Um, I thought this was, I always look for a phrase. I don't know if you know that or not, but I always look for like a new phrase that people in the industry are using or a new acronym because we have tons of them, right? That people are using that every week. So Dallas or Texas is a migration magnet. I thought that
Yeah.
was a good one.
Mhm.
Yeah. Domestic migration is a key driver. People relocating from higher cost states for jobs to have space. So that speaks to them being, outlying where you used to probably think of them as more rural, and now growing, and lifestyle as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of migration or, movement from, I mean, we joke like California moved here, right? I mean, you get in the news there's like a new corporate headquarters moving here. It feels like weekly, monthly, right? I mean, I think I just saw that PennyMac is opening an office here just a few minutes from my house. There's a lot of movement here just because there's such favorable tax conditions, right? There's no state income tax. It's favorable for business. Like we have such a strong economy, so it's diversified. It's not, it's technology, it's healthcare, it's energy, it's now a lot of like new like IT and AI growth, and so
Right.
it has a strong market. So there's like a skilled workforce in Dallas. I mean, it's a good place to like work and have a business. Like I said, the taxes, a lot of growth, even from international, locations, not just
Sure.
within the States. And so, yeah, it's a good quality of life. Like the weather's good. minus, storms and hail and tornadoes, but temperature wise, once you're
In
here,
the
it's kind
summer.
maybe I'll relate it to mortgage. Like once you move to Texas, it's hard to ever move out. Like it's a really
Yeah.
great place to live.
Isn't that the
I
truth?
don't think anyone moves unless there's like a really good reason to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that is a really good comparison. People don't leave mortgage or they try to, and then it just, for whatever reason, I know
Hmm.
I've tried to leave a couple of times in the last 35 years, and it just never works out. It's like in your blood. You have to stay. I kind of do feel like the people that I know that live in Texas and specifically in Dallas, I kind of feel like they will always be there because I think the economy there is just a lot more steady than it
Yeah.
is in some other places. I don't feel
Hmm.
like you have the big ups and the big downs.
I think it's because we're just so diversified. There's a lot of strong industries here, and I mean, the Texas GDP outpaces the national GDP. Like we outpace the job growth and the labor force, and even the affordability. I mean, the average like household, the average price of living here, right, is lower than the national average too, right? So you kind of get the both ends of right, like both of the goods out of that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So if you were to say in Texas what the top three driving forces of people coming there, what would you say those are?
Yeah, I mean, everything we just touched on, the strong economy and that job market, the like favorable tax, no state income tax, just all the favorable tax implications. And then it's just really diverse too. There's a lot of pockets of neighborhoods with like heavy culture, like different ethnicities. Like we have a good food scene, we have a good arts scene. Like you can, concerts, music, like all the things. Like it really has a lot of that. And I mean, depending on where you live, a lot of good outdoor activity.
Right.
In Dallas, you kind of have to look for it. Like Austin's probably more well known for some of the outdoor scene, but it really has like a really good mix of everything. And it's just a strong economy. And
Yeah.
it's a safe move. People.
Which creates a great lifestyle for people. I mean, a
Mhm.
lot of the things that I feel like people that are like my children's age in their low 30s, they're looking for a different lifestyle in a place where they can do all of those things. Here in Minnesota, we get outside like maybe 6 months out of the year.
I mean, I've thought about it. I'm like, I would be open to moving, but I'm like, where? I can't think of a single. I'm like, but Texas is so great.
Yeah,
Like the weather
exactly.
or the economy or the schools or the whatever it is. I mean, it's really just like it has a good mixture of all the things.
That is fabulous that you're in such a great environment. We're going to move on and talk a little bit about FHFA's strategic plan for Fannie and Freddie. Um, they came out with a new plan that kind of relooks at their oversight priorities are for housing affordability and GSE operations. So they have three strategic goals at this point: ensuring safe and sound operations of the GSEs, fostering housing finance, system stability and liquidity. Why I can't say that word today, and expanding the housing supply. Um, the plan emphasizes increasing housing production, not just affordability. And I think there's been a lot of focus on affordability, but then there aren't houses out there for people to buy. And in looking at this, it could potentially look at reshaping how those underserved markets, I think, are supported. So what do you think are the implications of shifting from like affordability to supply? Are there any?
I mean, I think builders are building as they can, but it does put more pressure on them to build like lower cost units, and that's difficult to do right now because of the recent tariffs on materials, and there's just uncertainty with that, and then there's like labor shortages and some regulatory hurdles, and I think it's well intentioned, and I think it's moving in the right direction, but I do think it puts a little bit of pressure on home builders. But I think we do need to shift towards like lower cost units, right? Like there's
Mhm.
different needs out there, so the affordability thing is an issue. But that does put pressure on the builders, like to build the type of units that like the demand is asking for.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that has happened here, kind of related to that, so we have a lot of building here, even where we're at. And of course, it doesn't end in the winter, but they try to get units to a specific point before the snow starts to fall. So they're working more on the inside of the houses. But one of the things that has been a big shift here is more multifamily, I would say,
Mhm.
and not just in apartment style living, but larger communities, having a segment of that big community that has very traditionally been just single family homes be
That's been the biggest like growth, I think historically, is that multi-family and like the mixed use, right? Like where it's like live, work, play.
right.
That's shown a lot more growth in recent years than ever before. It is a need and a want.
Yeah, and I think it gives for us here, at least in the community I live in, is like that. There are several others right next to me that are the same. It's interesting because it changes the dynamic of the community a little bit in that the
Hmm.
people that are living there changes as
Yep.
well. I think for the very, very positive, I think it gives a little bit more dynamic environment to live in. Not everything looks the same. It's not vanilla housing necessarily. It just
Mhm.
looks different, feels different. And in some ways, it's like creating a community within the community that you live in, which I think is just an awesome thing to do. How do you think that like the things that are going on right now and looking at supply, how do you think that affects lenders that are doing? I mean, almost everybody's working in affordable housing now. You kind of have to right now because that's where the business lies, I feel like.
Mhm.
But how do you think that this will affect lenders that are in affordable housing?
I mean, their plan to assist in the underserved markets is it's great because it'll open up opportunity. I mean, they're gonna, I think they talked about like manufactured housing and opening up more opportunities for rural housing and renovations and just those types of products and areas. So I think that's good for lenders, right? Like we will have the opportunity to expand into new markets and offer more of the products that we aren't able to like offer as much of right now. And so yeah, like that's an increased pool of borrowers that we can serve. So I do think it's good for lenders overall. Um,
Yeah.
but then I think, that there will be more competition. Like the pool of lenders got smaller this last few years, right? It's been a really hard few years, right? And there's
It has, for
less
sure.
companies and less loan officers. Like I don't remember the figure. I think it was like 60 something percent less LOs now than a
Yeah.
few years ago. And so I think when the tides turn, right, like when rates start to come down or regulations soften, you start to see new entrants again. And so I think we'll start seeing new entrants again, if not this year, then next year. I think the NBA even shared a statistic of maybe 25% more Ellas coming into the market in 2026. So it is good. Yeah, like I think we're gonna be able to serve more people, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's gonna be easier. It's all gonna come to us, right? Like I think there's the pool will get bigger, but so will the number of people in that pool. So
Yeah.
I think it affects us positively.
Yeah, I think that too. And let me know if this is how you feel about it as well. I mean, affordable housing sometimes borrower there aren't vanilla loans anymore. It's like every loan, has a different story, a different flavor, and I think you have to work harder to
Hmm.
capture some of those. And especially when you're working in the affordable housing space. But what do you, I feel like the people that really have their process together and their company culture and all of those things worked out in this slower period are the
Hmm.
people that are going to have the ability to capture more of that business. Is that how you feel about it too?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's what we should have been doing during these slower years is like building upon our foundation and making sure we're up and running. And I do think most people have been doing that just because we learned our lesson like before COVID, right? Like no one was prepared for that type of volume. And I mean, we didn't all have the infrastructure in place. And so I think people have been preparing themselves. And fixing, correcting, adapting, innovating, and kind of getting ready for what's coming next. And so, I mean, if you haven't, I think it's going to be an uphill battle for you.
Right.
So, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. I think that we've seen that very heavily within the TMC family, people looking at where can we work with AI that helps us in our process so that when things do get busy again,
Mhm.
we're
Yeah,
we're not doing the same old process of adding people, adding people, adding people, and then when something happens, getting rid of people. I think that has been a really big focus. And then also aligning your tech stack has been another hot topic for people here in trying to work that
hmm,
out so that they're ready when something does happen. It definitely has taken longer than we thought for something
definitely longer. Yeah,
for
yeah.
something to happen, but
Oh no,
yeah,
I always took those industry projections and rounded them down. Yeah,
did you?
I'd rather plan correctly and not run out of money and just be pleasantly surprised if we hit the numbers. But
That's the
uh,
CFO. That's the CFO
yeah,
in you
yeah,
coming out.
be reasonable while you're being hopeful.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I like that a lot. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I mean we've been doing that too. I mean, I think it's funny. It's like everybody wants to invest in technology and AI and all the things and with the intent to, reduce costs. But there's also, when you look at the MBA metrics, just to quote those again, you look at the average cost per loan and that hasn't decreased, that's gone up, right? And you're
Yeah.
like, where is that savings going? And so it's just important to remember, I mean, you don't it's not about implementing the most things, right? I mean,
Oh, for
sometimes
sure. But I think that people did that for a period of time when they
yeah,
had
I mean,
a
I
lot of
thought it'd
money
be
to
like an
do
easy
that.
fix. Like, let me put this new shiny thing in and let me do this. Well, one, if it's not being adopted, it's worthless. And two, if you still have like a process workflow issue, like the technology will only help you so much. And so, I mean, we've been focusing on improving just our own internal processes, like simple things, like just simple improvements within Encompass or whatever it is, right? Like improve your own like process and workflow and then accelerate that with this tool if it makes sense for you,
If it
right?
makes sense.
And it's
Yeah.
sometimes it's really simple things and sometimes it's big things. But yeah, I'm excited. We've rolled out a few new things just in the last few weeks. I feel like all I was doing last week was signing contracts, but it also has to be like absorbed by the company.
Yeah.
And so you can't do everything all at one time either. But yeah, I think people have improved their tech stack or their process and workflow and really taken the time to even build a better like workforce. Like we've been able to like bring in really good new talent, right? And so um, I think we just have a really good pool of talent available right now still. And so and I said this internally in my last few meetings, company meetings. I've said like we're the most poised for success than we've ever been. Like we have the best team in place and we have some of the best tools in place. So like there's no reason that we shouldn't be more successful this next year. Like we're poised for it, but I don't think we're unique, right? Like I think everybody else is also poised for that, right? So when
I
the
wouldn't say
turn,
everybody else, but a good percentage of people have been
yeah.
focusing on those things. The people
Hmm.
that haven't focused on those things are probably going to be the people that are left a little bit behind when something happens. We do have a comment in the chat. Bernard, I see Bernard on here every couple of weeks, so I love it when he always gives us messages. But unfortunately, the majority of the mortgage industry is transactional. The cycle of hire then fire is part of the fabric. I think it has
I
been.
yeah,
It has
I
been.
hate that about the seasonality and the cyclical nature of mortgage. I,
Yeah.
I try to tell that, I mean, I try to hire so intentionally and just for that fact, I cannot, like, I think it's horrible to have to go through that cycle. So it's like being skinny when you can so that you don't have to release people, like leveraging technology so that we can scale up quicker. But you're right. I mean, it's a cyclical seasonal thing and there's only so much you can automate or scale. But yeah, it's the hard part, the people part that
The people part is never going to go away. People's
Mhm.
functions may change, but it is still a people and a relationship driven business.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of times how you attract somebody, you know, into doing a loan with you, they have to trust you. I mean, sometimes it's about longevity and how long you've been around, but I think the biggest thing is they want to work with people want to work with people that they like. I mean, it's just
You, you know, you like, you trust. Hmm.
you like your trust. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. So the FHFA came out this week. Well, actually, it was part of this announcement that they're encouraging people to comment on what they're doing. So I wanted to just make sure that everybody knows it is an open comment period until November 5th. So not a long time, but you got a couple of weeks here to read up on what's going on and provide comment. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Road to Housing Act of 2025, which of course it has an acronym related with it. So ROAD means Renewing Opportunity in the American Dream, which I didn't know until this morning. I found that out this morning. So there's another acronym for you, ROAD. It includes 40 provisions designed to increase housing supply, lower cost, and expand access to home ownership. It's something that the NBA, Bob Brooksmith, did come out and agree that he thinks it is a winning situation for housing affordability and for consumers. So the NBA is behind what was implemented, but there are like 40 key pillars to this thing, which y'all will have to go and investigate what they are. They range in, talking about smaller mortgages and the points and fees associated with those, appraisals, FHA reporting requirements on safety and soundness. I mean, there are a number of things that are in this. I don't know if it was a bill it hasn't, I don't think it's been
An
passed.
act
Yeah, yeah. That talk about housing affordability. When you looked at this, like, what do you think was the most important thing or the most impactful thing that you saw in there?
out of all the 40 points. And
Out of all of
yeah,
them, was there one that kind of stuck
yeah.
out to you
I
that
mean,
was like,
I like the overall impact and strategy to increase the housing supply. I mean, that stuck out to me, right? Because that's what we're talking about, supply and affordability. And I mean, I think the act has plans to, give grants for communities to build more homes and provide incentives. And so just like the housing supply piece, I think is important. And then reducing the red tape, like they're talking about getting less red tape out on the construction side so that they can actually get the projects done and get them done on time. And
that'd
so
be refreshing.
yeah. Yeah, and just like modernizing some of the programs and offering, hopefully fixing and modernizing the financing. And I mean, a few of these things we've talked about today have all mentioned manufactured homes. And so I think that's great. I mean, I think there used to be kind of like a negative connotation around
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But it really isn't, and I think people always thought they were high risk, but I mean it really isn't. I feel like doing construction loans is higher risk than doing a manufactured home, and so I like those points. I mean, anything you can do to increase supply will also, I think, in turn, help the affordability issue a little bit. Even though the affordability issue is not just the price of the home, it's taxes, insurance, like all the things, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There are a number of things. We're not going to go there because we're like right at the bottom of the hour, but there are a number of things that came
Yeah.
out. People look up some things. There were some lenders that have been impacted. We're not going to mention names because I don't like to ever do that. But with things that happened, that they now have some legal issues related to fees on a mortgage, maybe lack of people's knowledge, how they presented information out. I try not to believe that it's ever ill intent
Hmm.
on the part of a lender member, but there have been some things that have come out in the last couple of weeks related to some of those smoke and mirror type of things is what the press calls them. But that's just to get headlines, I think, into to read their article. But yeah, there are some of those things that were out there this last week too. And as those progress, we may talk about those more. But we are at the bottom of the hour. It goes by so fast.
Yeah, that was really fast.
Yeah, I am so excited. I cannot wait to see you in Vegas. I'm so
Yes.
excited for you. I'm so excited for Willow Bend. I think, when you see things in the press, sometimes you're like, yes, that finally happened. So I'm so excited that they chose you to be their president. It seems like one of the most logical things that I saw happen in the last 6 months or so.
Well, very kind of you to say. I appreciate
So
it.
appreciate that. Appreciate you being part of the show. For everybody that joined us today, thank you for joining. Come back in 2 weeks and see us again on the latest in Mortgage Today. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks, Natalie.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure chatting with you today.
Same, same.
All right.
Later, guys. Bye.
Okay, bye.